So, you want to buy a router but aren't sure what to look out for? Well, don't worry, I've got you. I'm talking about a specific Makita router, but this info applies to others as well. I will walk you through useful tips, how to assemble it, and some general do's and don'ts. So let's get into it right after I bought some material.
Now, don't tell my husband I did this. This is our secret. This was dumb. This was dangerous. The only reason I did this was because I literally live 3 minutes away and I know that I have priority on the entire track. It's a bad excuse, I know, forgive me, but a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
The reason why I bought this one, I wanted something corded. That usually means it has more power, and honestly, I just can't be bothered with batteries. Always have to charge something, the extra cost, etc. For one, it has a speed control, which really helps with finer work. If you have different kinds of bits that you want to use, it really is helpful to be able to adjust your speed. Now, this is a handheld trim router. That means it's smaller, it doesn't have a plunge base. It's pretty light, and the pieces that it comes with are an extraction piece and obviously your wrenches. The other thing that I really like about it, usually when you have a router, you have to choose between a 6mm and an 8mm. That means for your router bits, they come usually in 6 or 8mm size. This one has an adapter, you can use both. There's advantages and disadvantages to both sizes, but at least it gives you the options of both. The other good thing is this piece. It lets you get a straight edge, but also it lets you route in a circle, which is really helpful because I want to do that now and try that out. So I'm going to insert my bit that I'm going to use for that, and we see how easy that is. Now, I took this piece off for ease of access. These are your collet cones, one for 6 and one for 8mm bits. My bits are 8mm, so I obviously want the 8mm bit. Now you just insert this here after you have removed your nut. You can fix this again with either 1 or with 2 wrenches. If you do it with 1, you will want to press, there's a hole here, press this in here, right? That way this piece cannot move. So when you insert this and put this back in here, you can do this tightening with 1 wrench and nothing will move. Alternatively, you can hold this with the 2nd wrench and then tighten it like that by holding your wrench steady, and everything is in place. There you go. That's it. And we can insert this guy back up here and off to our next step, which is adjusting the height of our drill bit. Now, you generally do not want to drill deeper than the diameter of your drill bit, right? So I do not want to drill further than 6mm. So I will adjust this here, and it's always better to go in several passes because otherwise you might damage the motor, you might damage the drill bit or the wood. So be patient, go slow, and rather just readjust it than going too fast. Now on here you can see it in millimeter and you can see it in inch. I want this to not be further than 6mm, so that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to find my depth here that I need, and then I just clamp this shut, and that's it. Next, we want to attach our extraction fan, which is pretty straightforward. You just clip it in, and then screw it in from here. And that's it. Now we're secure from that side. So as I said, this straight guide can be used in two ways. You can either attach it so you have a guide for the edge, so your distance stays the same, or you can use it to actually route circles, which is what we're going to be doing. Now your range is different depending on how you reassemble it. So what you want to do is you want to hold this piece like this and this like that. Now, depending on whether you put it back together in this hole or in that hole, your radius changes. I want to have the maximum possible. So what you'll do is use this hole, put that through, hold it tight, and reattach it. Now this will give you a maximum radius of 22 centimeter. In case you're wondering what the radius is, that is half of the circle. Here you see, 22 centimeter. Once you're ready with the radius adjustment as you want it, all you need to do is attach this here. You have two little bits, you put it in between, and then you just tighten this again. Now all we have to do is find the center on our piece that we want to trim. Use a nail in the middle. For this will be your guide here, this hole. You always want to wear respirator and eye protection. So when going from the outside, we want to go clockwise.
Let's talk about my mistake here. The most important aspect of router safety is getting the feed direction right. The arrow indicates the direction your bit spins in. The direction you have to go in depends on whether you are routing by hand or with a router table. When you route by hand, you want the direction you push the router along the edge of a board to be the opposite of the bit's rotational direction. So what I am doing here is cutting in the same direction as the bit's rotation. That is called a climb cut. And if you're not careful, it can cause the router to shoot out of your hands or send the piece flying across the shop. Not very pleasant. And while I do not have it on tape, it did later happen to me. As you can see, the router was unstable and wobbled around a lot. You can also see it in the overall quality of my lines, whether that was while I was cutting or rounding over the edges. But with a bit of practice, cutting direction becomes second nature. But when you're first getting started, it can be a bit confusing at times. Next, I tried to cut a groove, again going in the wrong direction. With the next test, I wanted to see if I could also plane pieces of wood with this router. For that, I built a simple jig with leftover 2x4s and two metal rails. I attached them to have a snug fit, but still be able to have fluid movements. Same principle applies. Do not go deeper than the width of your bit. Go in several passes and take your time. The original plan was to build a tray with a hollowed out middle section, but because I was continuously routing in the wrong direction, it obviously was not going the way I wanted to. So I changed my plan and planed the entire thing and cut off the groove that I had made previously. This is not just a good way to show what and how not to do it, but also that most things can be salvaged if you're a bit flexible and pivot a little bit. Now, this is not your classical review video. It is the perspective of a novice woodworker, which also means if I can get the hang of it, you can get the hang of it. I did a bunch of research before buying this model, and all my arguments from the start are still the same. Does the cable get in the way occasionally? Sure, but I still prefer it. I would like to get a cordless one eventually, but for my current usage, I'd rather have less things I need to keep an eye on. Plug and go is worth more to me. I like that I'm not limited by the collet size, but on the downside, I did not consider the width of the base opening. I cannot use wider bits, which is a shame. That can be solved by a new base plate, but I don't understand why this has been made an issue in the first place. On that note, it is also practical that you can buy a plunge base and exchange them, rather than having to buy an entirely new device. While we are talking about the base plate, some models are round, like this one, others are square or half and half. I definitely don't think the round option is the best, as it makes it harder to get a straight line, unless you are using the attachment, which I also find awkward to use. This is something that can be improved upon for sure. I am planning on making a few interchangeable bases myself, so that should solve the problem anyways. So, bottom line, it is a good tool for the price. There are many things that speak for it, and overall I'm happy with my choice. The option to upgrade over time as the need arises, speed control, soft start, and being able to use 6 and 8mm bits seals the deal for me. I hope you found this helpful if you are looking to buy your own router, whether it is this model or a different one. Let me know what you think or what I can do better for future reviews. Do you have any other questions you need answered? Let me know in the comments and make sure to subscribe to not miss out on other projects, reviews, and nonsense I come up with. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. Now I will just finish off this tray with 2 coats of a ferric acetate stain, which I also have a video on how to make yourself. I will leave a link for you down in the description in case you're interested. Then I will just top it off with 2 coats of water-based top coat and call it good.